Welcome back to the DCEV channel, where
Good morning.
we're going to be catching up with this lad Paul and just talking about different things, which we probably will do on a daily, bi-daily basis, where we just talk about what's going on in the industry, seeing as we're in it every day. But this particular episode is to do with, we're going to call it behind the headlines, you know, where we're in a world when it's EVs or companies that are bombarding us with information. We're great, trying to get to the front of the stage, where we see it from the customer's point of view, where it mightn't be as seamless, you know, everything from direct to consumer, selling, etc. So we're just going to have a little chat between ourselves, and hopefully it'll trigger some points that you might get in touch with us to tell us your experience, because from this whole transition and revolution, what they phrase it, I do feel the customer, you guys, are being left out. You know, I think it's look at us, but what is the experience like? So that's really it. So Paul, so the first question would be, what in our experience as a company, and everyone else's experience of this new direct-to-consumer marketing that all the new guys are bringing in, what do we think it's like?
In our experience, it's a bit staggered. It's a bit, the customer sort of left secondary as far as we're concerned, just based on our experience. But as Adrian was saying, we'd like to hear your experience, you know, send us, you know, DM us or comments, whatever suits you, can send it to us. But from our point of view, is we just feel that it's the faceless side of it doesn't really work, and I think it's sort of going against people's sort of ideals in terms of buying, consumers' sort of experiences. So yeah, I think there's a lot more demands from the manufacturer side when it comes to direct to consumer, you know, the way the deposits are done and the payments are structured. So I'm not really comfortable with that. So just, as I said, it'd be interesting to see exactly what you guys are experiencing and what your feelings are on it. Certain brands, or a lot of brands, especially in the electric space, are going to this model. They think it's the right way. I'm not totally convinced.
Yeah, but so Tesla, we're not going to start naming, but Tesla started it, right? And it makes complete sense. It's a bit like Amazon, where you order something and it arrives on Tuesday, great, or whatever it is. So that makes a lot of sense. But when you're buying something for 50,000, you know, euros, dollars, or whatever, plus, and then you're told, so you order the car, say today, and then you're told maybe in a couple of weeks your car is ready, please pay us up front, 7 days before you see or feel or touch the car, you know, and if you don't, it's not gonna, you know, we'll take it off you or whatever. There's that kind of underlying aggression where, and I think now it's playing into the manufacturer's hands because of shortages and all that kind of stuff. But when people feel, because people can't get it, so they'll order a car and they won't get it for 12 months, and then suddenly, oh, take this car, and if you don't, we'll unmatch it. It just seems a little bit, it's hard for the customer. I think it's hard because people panic then and buy it, and they'll still like the product. But there's definitely a tone of this aggressive kind of sell.
Yeah, I think it works on some levels. Some customers are fine with ordering the car online. They like it being seamless. They like it, you know, being, you know, faceless. They look at the car, they pick the options, and they pay the deposit in happy days. But there are still people out there, and that's why I think a hybrid model would probably work, where, or somewhere in between, where some customers can actually go, you know, touch and see the car and sit in the car and feel the car. Now, I know you can do that in the showroom, but there's still certain aspects where you can't do that. But I do think some people just really like the sort of, to see it before they pay. And then the other side to that is, if somebody's financing the car, again, it can be quite difficult if they're doing their own sort of loan on it. You know, they have to sort of supply certain details of the registration of the car before they can actually get the funds. So I don't know, I just think it's it's still a bit contentious, and I still think that some people are comfortable and some people aren't comfortable. And I do think the manufacturers are, you know, benefit from it, because obviously for cost reasons. So You know, I don't know.
But ultimately, this is the way it's going to go. So it started, as we said, with Tesla, and all the brands are following. You know, there's lawsuits all over the place for against manufacturers. If you build a showroom for 10 or 12 million, and suddenly then you're told, well, look, we're selling it directly to the customer, and you hand it over at your dealership. You know, so it's happening that way. But I just don't think, especially in Ireland, a small place like Ireland, where we're quite, we like people, we like the interaction. You know, someone that buys a car or a service of someone generally has bought it off it for a long time before that, because it's a relationship. Or if you worked in Toyota and someone's buying a car for you for years, and then you move to Nissan, the chances are that person will go to Nissan because the cars are relatively similar, but it's the relationship. So this is basically coming in between you and the customer, as in the relationship stuff. So there's two things. Will this kill, like if it's going to go that way, does that mean that relationships are dead in the water? That's just the way it is. You know, again, like Amazon, if you get something delivered to your door, you're not going to go out to the delivery guy and go, thanks very much, and build up a relationship. That's pretty much the way it's going to be with cars. It's just, we're talking at a big price point. You know, if you get something on Amazon for 15 euro and it doesn't arrive or something, don't really care. But 50, 60, 70, 80,000 euro or dollars or whatever it is, it's a big thing. So I think certainly for us here in Ireland, it's going to take a long time to get our head around it. But this is the way it's going. But it'd be interesting to see what customers that have gone or have got that text saying we're going to match it unless you pay it or whatever, you know, because effectively there seems to be that the emotionless of a text message for 50 or 60 grand is just a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah, no. From experience or from speaking to some consumers myself or customers, their experience is like, it's particularly with Tesla, where they get the uppercase email or text to say urgent, please pay, and it could be 10 days before the car is due in. And again, I think that, as Adrian was saying, they're just playing on the fact that these cars are hard to get. You know, if you don't take the car by the end of this quarter, which could be the 31st of December, and you don't get the benefit of going into the next year plate, Tesla don't really care about that, because they just want their units done at the end of the quarter. And I just think that's going against the customer. And that's fine at the moment because the cars are hard to get. But when these cars are plentiful and supply issues are no more, I do think that this is where the customer will sort of start to come back into the, you know, to be the strong part of the equation when it comes to buying a car. So I don't like the pressures, and there's other brands coming into it now that want you to pay. And I've read of some forums and some stories of, you know, some manufacturers coming back and saying there's a price increase now. If you don't pay the price increase, we just give the car to the next person on the list. Sorry about that, but that's just the way it is. So this loyalty, you know, and relationship is certainly is dwindling, and you know, I just think, you know, especially in Ireland, I don't think we're fully there for faceless sales. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, but the thing is, and that's why it's not so much getting away with it, but they're going down the route now of shortage, panic. So the minute someone can't get what they want, they want it more. If, you know, they can't get, so the demand builds up. So whether they feel the same way in 12 months' time or whatever, but I mean, ultimately, for the customers, for what feeds us here, and like we know the ins and outs, but this is not a conversation to you're bad. It's how can we bring the customer into the fold and make the experience better, because ultimately, if it's going to go this way, we need to figure out collectively how it's going to be a better experience. And then, you know, if you go in and you pay a lot of money for a product, you know, you want to be treated a little bit better, certainly with dignity and respect, as opposed to a text message or hurry up. So it'd be interesting to see. So I mean, that's really all we wanted to touch on. We'll have different subjects every day, because we're looking at it from a different point of view from everyone else. We're looking at it from in depth, in it every day. We know the ins and outs and all that, but again, I keep saying it about the customer. You guys will ultimately tell us what your experience is, and we kind of know already what it is. So it's giving you a voice. So if you like the video, hit subscribe and the bell. Is it a bell? Is it?
Yeah, Bill.
The bell, and we'll just finish our coffee now and have a good day. Thank you. Bye.
Take care.